Welcome as we are going to revise the KCSE Mathematics Paper 1 for the year 2024. Isn't done exams, and this paper has really shown a great improvement as most of the students were able to tackle papers in this KCSE examination. So as KCSE 2024, mathematics, Part 1. So this paper, and generally mathematics, paper 1 is entailed of 2 sessions, and it also have 24 questions. These questions run all the way from question to question 24, just a breakdown of the paper. So in this, all the math papers under the Kenyan curriculum, a student is expected to answer all questions in the first section, which is 50 marks, as you can see indicated here. First section is 50 marks. The second session, they are 8 questions. So it means that a student is supposed to answer 5 out of the 8 questions, and each question carries 10 marks. So having said that, let us look at how this paper is and how it was supposed to be done. I'm going to guide you through the topics also before we start. So in topic 1, the first question here, this is called evaluation of numerical expressions. So if I can just write here so that when you're revising, this evaluation of numerical expressions, and these are from 1 topic. And if you look at this topic, it's always told without using calculators, because we do have 2 types of evaluation of numerical expressions. The one in Form 2 that we use logarithms and calculators, but this one you are not supposed to use logarithm and calculator. So let us first question. You are told that without using mathematical table or a calculator, evaluate 0.13 times 0.3 minus 0.003 divided by 0.01, giving the answer in a decimal form. So how to approach this question is that we are going to solve out the numerator, because on the numerator we have multiplication and subtraction sign. If we work out this part here for the multiplication, that is what we are supposed to be starting with. So we're going to start with our numerator part. Numerator part is the upper part of the number. So we have 0.13 times 0.3 minus 0.003. I'm now going to apply BODMAS. I'm going to apply BODMAS on that. So BODMAS means that we are supposed to solve bracket of, then division, which we don't have here, multiplication, that is the one that we have. So we are going to solve out multiplication of it. So under multiplication, to multiply easy, you can convert this one to fractions. So it is 13 over 100 times 3 over 10. So this 100 comes from the decimal place for the decimal point, so that on we will 13 times 3, which is 39, over 100 times 10, which is 1,000. Then after that, we are going to take this equation, then we subtract from it 3 over 1,000 because of the 3 decimal places. Place it with zeros, that's 1,000, so that we will now have our numerator answer. The LCM here, if the denominators are the same, we just write the same number, so that now we can have 39 minus 3, which gives me 36. So I can convert this to decimals, which will give me 0.03. So after that, now we will be going to our denominator. This is our numerator answer. Now we can go to the denominator part. For the denominator part, we only have one number, and that number, it is 0.09. So write the numerator as 0.036 divided by denominator 0.09. Now, since these numbers, they have got different numbers of decimal place, what we are supposed to do, we are now going to count the number of decimal places on the numerator, which we have 1, 2, 3, and on the denominator we have 1, 2. Therefore, the highest number, it is 3, so we are going to multiply on top by 3 and also on the denominator by 3. You can decide also to use the fraction method, still no problem, provided that you have not used direct calculator. So we'll have 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, substituted by these 3, then 1, 2, to remove 2 zeros, so that I will have 36 over 9 times 10. Then after that, we will now divide 9, 1, and 9 goes here 4 times. What we are left with is 4 divided by 10, which gives me 0.4. I would have written as a fraction, but I'm following the instruction that giving the answer in decimal form. So this is how the answer is supposed to be given. In case you need more revision on the same topic, you can check using the KCSE Made Familiar. Good recommendation. We have got more other books, Mirror Mathematics, so that you can be extra good in topic. Let us look at question 2. Look at question. Question 2 We have a very nice here. Now, this is another topic that is mostly tested in paper 1. And this topic, it is called algebraic expression, or we can also call it the quadratic expression. This is a Form 2 topic. Where you are introduced to factorization methods in Form 2. So let us look at how it was supposed to be done. You are told that in the first part, simplify the expression. So on the numerator, we have 4x squared minus 9. So we are going to consider a rule. We are going here now to consider a rule under quadratics, which we call the third law of quadratics, where you are told that if a number has got a negative sign in the middle and the two numbers are having a square root, what you're supposed to do is find the square root of these numbers, or if these numbers are square numbers, just find their square roots. So we are going to find the square root of 4, which is 2, the square root of x, which is x, then we maintain our negative sign, then the square root of 9, it is 3. Then from there, we write the same equation, but now put the positive sign, so that if I expand this equation, I'll go back to the real equation on top. So after that, we are now going to look at the denominator part. The denominator part is the part that now requires a lot of concentration, because we'll have to introduce a concept called factorization. You can also use completing squares, but if you use quadratic method and completing square method, they do take students to the final answer, value of x. But here we are not asked of quadratic equations, they are expressions. So here we are going to group our numbers. This group here we call it A, this one here will be B, and the last part will be C. So the first step is you take A times, which is 2 times minus 6. Remember the sign, don't forget the sign, so that we have negative 12. Because now 12 has got very many factors. Let me write these factors of 12 at a point here. There are very many factors of 12. So, but the factors that we are really going to look at, so to make it more easier for a student, let me show you a more easier way to look at the factors and get the answer easily. So what you're going to do on the factor is that you are going to start all the possible numbers that can give me 12, which 1 times 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Then under these factors, I am now going to look at which number, if I multiply, will give me negative 12. If you find the difference of this, you can get 1 or -1. So if I introduce a negative, be very careful when introducing the sign. So if I introduce a negative and I add them, it will be a +1. By multiplying them, it will give -12. Therefore, it means that the factor that I'm supposed to use is -3 and 4. Since these other factors don't bring me anywhere closer to a sum of 1. So this equation here, I am going to replace it on this part of, I'm going to replace it on the part of B in this way. So I will say that 2x cubed minus 3x, then plus 4x. After doing that, I will now proceed and group them in a group of 2's, where I will look for a common factor. The common number here, it is x, the common letter. This is squared, sorry for this. This is squared, supposed to be squared, not cubed. So x is common, so if I bring x out, I'll be left with 2 and 1x minus 3. Same to this side, we have 2 as a common number, so that we have 2x minus 3. Now this is the secret, that inside here, they must be the same. So after that, we are going to take the ones that are outside to be x plus 2. And inside the bracket, you take one group, 2x minus 3. Then we are now going to take our numerator here and the denominator and try to compare. You realize that the equation here is similar to this one. Therefore, you are going to cancel them out. Then giving now our final answer to be, on the numerator, I am left with 2x plus 3. And on the denominator, I'm left with x plus 2. And that is how the first page was supposed to be in the KCSE 2024. Let us now look at question 3. Let's have a look at question 3. Now, in question 3, is another one of the most interesting topics. Let me just sort the camera. I think that's now clear. So now we can proceed with the the question. You're told that a straight line L1 whose equation is 2 minus a third meets the x-axis at Q. Another straight line L2 is perpendicular to L1 at Q. Find the equation of L2 in form of y is equals to mx plus c, where m and c are constants. So let us see on how this question is supposed to be done. So this is a called equation of straight lines. It is a form 2 topic. Okay. So we can continue looking at the question. This topic is called equation of straight lines. And equation of straight lines is form 2. Therefore, we are going now to take our first equation. And first of all, we are supposed to realize that in this L1, the first line, we are supposed to realize its gradient. So the gradient of a line is always the coefficient of x. So the coefficient is next to x. So it means that the first gradient of L1 is negative, and negative 1 over 3. Therefore, we will say 9 watch hours. So as this one is the gradient, we are supposed to find a perpendicular gradient, which is L2, which is perpendicular to L1. So you know that in perpendicular lines, the first gradient, M1, multiplied by the second gradient should give you -1. And if -1/3 is the M1, if I multiply by M2, I should get -1. Therefore, we will say that we'll multiply this side by 3 over -1, this side by 3 over -1, so that we have our second gradient M2 as 3, since these two will cancel. So after doing that, we are going to now find the coordinates of Q. So Q will be, let us take X to be 0. Using this equation, I can now get the value of Y by saying that Y is equals to 2 minus a third, and in value of X, I put 0. So it will be Y is equals to 2. Therefore, the point Q is 0, 2. So I'm asked to find the equation of L2. So equation of a line, it is change in Y over change in X should give me the gradient. So change in Y over the change in X should give me the gradient. So since we don't have the other line, we will say Y minus 2 over X minus 0. This should give me the second gradient of the perpendicular, which is 2. Then by cross multiplying, we will have Y minus 2 is equal to 2 into X minus 0. So Y minus 2 is equal to X minus 0. Break the 2X. Not 2. The gradient here was 3. Gradient is equals to 3x plus 2. And that is how that question is supposed to be done in a nice way. Kuja vizuri. So let us look now at question 4. Of this paper. So let us look at question 4. Question 4, you're told that a circle of radius 3 centimeters passes through all the vertices of a regular hexagon. Determine the area of the circle that lies outside the hexagon. So we can maybe give the topic something like a mixed concept, because they're mixing area and hexagons. And you know that hexagon, we find it in angle properties. And the circles, we find it under area of circles. So in general, this topic is called measurement, or you can call it area of irregular shapes. or so to find the area we will say this is what they mean if I have a circle and an hexagon is a six-sided figure. So you can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then bring the sixth one here. Hexagon, side. Now here there are very many ways that you can use to calculate. Remember, they want the area of this part outside hexagon. So one, because we have a circle, we can say that area of the circle minus area of hexagon. That is one of the steps you can use. Since we have the radius, so we can find the area of the circle. So we'll say area of the circle is equals to pi squared. Therefore, we'll have pi as 22/7 times the radius 3 squared. So there now we will say 22/7 times 3 squared. This will give me 100 4/7. Then for area of the hexagon, if the radius between these 2 points is 3, we can find the angle of the hexagon. And to find exterior angles, it is the angle theta will be 360 divided by the number of sides, which is 6. So here we'll have 60 degrees. Therefore, we can say we minus, because this will give me only one side, so we can say 6 times area of a triangle that has got this shape. It is theta over 360, or a half a, which is 3, times 3, half AB sine theta, sine 60. So let me press that. 6 times a half times 3 times 3 times the sine of 60. So here we'll have 100 over 4/7 minus the answer. This will give me 77 1/8 meter square. Okay, this is supposed to be a 28 2 over 7. Therefore, we have 4.90 centimeter squared. Then now we can look at question 5. So in question 5, you are asked to solve for x in that equation. So to solve for x, this one, it is an indices question, and indices is in a 4 2. And for indices, we are first supposed to make the bases the same, since the sign here is division. Let me write the equation again. So let us make the base the same, starting with the bigger one. We have 125. Therefore, 5 divides that 25 times. 5 divides 25 5 times, and 5 1. Therefore, if I am to substitute 25, it will be 2 5s, because 25 stands for 2 squared. Therefore, 5 squared x is equals to 25. There are 3. Therefore, we'll go for 5 cubed times 2 over 3. Divide by 5 negative 1. So for that, since the bases are the same, we can drop them. So to drop means to cancel out all of them, but remember to use the rule sign of indices, where if you have multiplication, it turns to addition, and division turns to subtraction. Therefore, we'll have 2x is equals to 3. We'll cancel that, so that we are left with 2. Division becomes subtraction. Then we have minus 1 here, minus 1. Therefore, 2x is equals to 2 negative, and negative becomes a positive, so that we have 3. So we divide by 2, divide by 2, so that now the value of x be 2 simplified form. We can say 1 whole half, or in decimal, we can say 1.5. This is how it is supposed to be done. Make sure you check on more of such questions.